Welcome back. This is part 2. We are still talking about the truth about Christmas. In part 1, we're talking about the first question. Was Jesus born on December 25? We have seen that there is no proof that Jesus was born on that date. And we have seen the origin of that date. The origin was really pagan. But some people may ask this. Does the pagan connection really matter? Yeah. The answer is very simple. It does to God. Why? You may open John chapter 4 verse 23. Chapter 4 in John verse 23. Nevertheless, the hour is coming, and it is now, when the true worshippers will worship the Father with spirit and truth. For indeed, the Father is looking for ones like these to worship Him. The true worshippers will worship the Father with spirit and truth. And truth. So that is why the pagan connection really matters. Because the true worshippers will worship the Father with spirit and the truth. So that is why we should pay attention to celebrate Christmas. If it has pagan connection and you want to worship God with spirit and truth, so how could we do this in parallel? I don't know. It's your decision. The second one about we are talking still about the truth of Christmas. The second one, the wise men, how many? Who were they? What about the custom? Guided by a star from the east, 3 wise men are portrayed as presenting gifts to Jesus in a manger in a stable. Sometimes shepherds are also shown as being present. What about the roots of this custom? Aside from the brief account in the Bible, everything written about the wise men stems principally from legend. Let me repeat this. This has been said by the Christmas Encyclopedia. Aside from the brief account in the Bible, everything written about the wise men stems principally from legend. What about Bible view to this, to those men? The Bible does not say how many wise men visited Jesus. There may have been 2, 3, 4 or more. Although termed wise men, in some Bible translations, the original language word is magui, which means astrologers or sorcerers, professions that the Bible says are detestable to God. This has been written in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 10 to 12. But by virtue of their long journey from east, the astrologers did not arrive in the time to visit Jesus in the stable. Later, after perhaps months of travel, they went into the house where Jesus was staying. There they saw the young child with Mary, its mother. This you may see this in Matthew chapter 2 verse 11. Let us read together. Chapter 2 of Matthew verse 11. And when they went into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and falling down, they did obeisance to him. They also opened their treasures and presented him with gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. That the situation was. But what about this and Christmas? Is there any relation? Of course there is a relation. That is why we are going to go to the third one. Remember, those men were led by a star. In that star is a star decorated on the tree of Christmas. And remember, we are talking about the truth about Christmas. That is why we are talking about all those things. Let us see the third one. What the sort of star led the astrologers. Remember, this star is decorated on the tree of what? Of Christmas. What sort of star led the astrologers? Clues are provided by what the star actually did. For one thing, it did not lead the men directly to Bethlehem, but to Jerusalem, where their inquiries about Jesus reached the ears of King Herod. Herod then secretly summoned the astrologers, who told him about the newborn King of Jews. Herod then said, "Make a careful search of the young child, and when you have found it, report back to me." Herod's interest in Jesus, however, was anything but noble. Rather, this proud and ruthless ruler was resolved to put Jesus to death. Yes, we are talking about the subtle star. Bible didn't tell us exclusively that kind of star. But according to the star deeds, we can find the sort of that star. The first thing we see is this one. This star didn't actually lead immediately to Bethlehem. They first led to those people to Jerusalem, where King Herod also listened the news about that king of Jews called Jesus. That was very bad thing, very bad action that has been executed by the star. Because the target for Herod to that child was this one. We may open Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. Chapter 2, verse 16. Then Herod, seeing that he had been outwitted by the astrologers, flew into a great rage, and he sent out and had all the boys in Bethlehem and in all its districts killed, from 2 years of age and under, according to the time that he had carefully ascertained from the astrologers. You get the target of Herod. So imagine you yourself, what kind of what the sort of that star that led those astrologers to Herod, the enemy of Jesus. This star has been used by who? God? Are you sure is God? Interestingly, the star now led the astrologers south to Bethlehem. There, it came to stop above the house where Jesus was. You may open in Matthew chapter 2 verse 9 to 10 and see what I'm talking about. Clearly, this was no ordinary star. And why would God, who had used angels to inform humble shepherds of Jesus' birth, now employ a star to guide pagan astrologers first to Jesus' enemy and then to the child himself? The only reasonable conclusion is that the star was a sinister device of Satan, who is capable of such manifestations. And this is very possible, because Satan has ability to do this. Let us open in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 9 to 10. 2 Thessalonians verse 9 to 10. But the lawless one's presence is by the operation of Satan and every powerful work and lying signs and wonders and every unrighteous deception for those who are perishing as retribution, because they did not accept the love of the truth, in order that they might be saved. You see, verse 9, at the end of it, with every powerful work and lying signs and wonders. You get Jesus, not Jesus. Satan may do powerful works, may manifest signs. So that is why this star was used by Satan. It was really a sinister device of Satan that put those people first at the worst enemy, then to worst where he was staying after his birth. So, ironically, an ornament called the Star of Bethlehem is usually seen at the very top of the Christmas tree. How this kind of star should be decorated on Christmas tree. So you have gotten news. Now it's you to use those news in your decision about Christmas. We have seen two things in this second chapter. We have seen the wise men, how many who were there, but also those people have a relationship to Christmas because they have been led by the star. That's the third thing we have seen. All this kind of star that led the astrologers to Jesus. We have seen that is a sinister device of Satan because of the different reasons we have seen. The two things remaining to the truth of Christmas we are going to talk about in part 3.